Thanks for staying with us. If you haven't heard about the Solar and Energy Loan Fund yet, we'll find out more about it. It's a program in Port St. Lucie that's been very successful, helping residents make important changes to their home that help them save money and improve on energy costs. To join us today is Mayor Faiella, Mayor JoAnn Faiella, and also Doug Coward of the Solar and Energy Loan Fund. Thank you for joining us both here today. Good to have you here. Mayor Faiella, we'll start with you. You are a strong supporter of this program, and you thought it would be great to bring in Doug. Talk about it a little bit. Yes,
thank you, Ed, for inviting us here today. I've been supporting Doug for the last 3 years. He was on about a year and a half ago to explain what the self-energy program is. He is the executive director of the program, and we're really excited, and it has done and it has benefited a lot of residents in our city of Port St. Lucie. So Doug's here to explain what his new steps are and what his new innovative plans are for the self-energy program.
Great. Thank you, Mayor, and thank you, Ed. It's a pleasure to be back. We were originally working exclusively in the residential arena. Basically what we do, we're a nonprofit community lending organization that focuses on energy-related issues. So over the last 3.5 years of operation, we've been able to help about 280 families in this region make improvements to their home that are not only helping with comfort and livability, but also helping them cut their energy bills. We finance about 24 different types of energy efficient products and even renewable energy like solar thermal and solar PV panels. And so we're helping individuals make these improvements, but it's also creating jobs for local skilled craftsmen in the process. So over the last 3 years, we've done about $2.4 million of lending here in the Treasure Coast region, helping local homeowners green up their homes and cut their costs. And in the last couple of weeks, we've also just finalized our new commercial lending program, which will be rolling out here at the beginning of September. So we certainly appreciate the strong support of the city throughout this whole process, and we're glad to be back to talk more about what we've done and the opportunities that are ahead of us.
So your organization is the one who makes the connection from the lender to the person to the borrower. So this is not a grant of some sort.
Correct. Correct. We raise money from all over the world and bring that capital into Port St. Lucie and the Treasure Coast region. What we do is provide energy expertise and favorable financing. Many people don't have the upfront cash or the disposable income to make these investments, even though the technologies are proven, even though that we know the return on investment is sound and quick. Many people simply need to have that upfront financing in order to take advantage of these opportunities. And so we're able to raise money from banks. We've actually raised over $1 million from faith-based organizations all over the country. And again, it is not a grant, as you said. They're giving us capital at low cost so that we can then provide that money to local residents with low interest rates so that they can make cost-effective improvements to their home that are, as you said, cutting their energy bills, potentially incorporating renewable energy, and also improving their quality of life, which is an important issue in Florida with high temperatures, particularly in August. People with disabilities or elderly or children living in hot, sweltering heat is really a quality of life issue as much as it is an energy issue.
Sure. So let's talk about, before we talk more about the funding, let's talk about the kind of improvements that people make that that the fund will support.
The typical residential loan is about $8,000. You'll see a basic weatherization package, which is really the smartest first step that a homeowner can make, is seal your home. Make sure that when you're turning the air conditioning on and you're cooling your home, that it's not sneaking out the windows and doors and you're basically air conditioning the neighborhood. The very first step you should take is just to do a basic weatherization program, sealing your windows and doors, making sure you've got adequate insulation in the roof. Then we're also looking at mechanical and lighting upgrades. Air conditioning is one of the biggest improvements. If you have an air conditioner that's more than 10 years old, it's very likely that an investment in a new high-efficiency air conditioner could cut your bill pretty dramatically and also improve the quality of life in the home as well, because it's going to work more efficiently.
And also, I believe you you talked about the lighting, the solar lighting.
Well, actually, the lighting that we're typically doing is LED lighting. It's probably going to be something that you'll see much more widespread in America in the coming years. Entire cities in Europe have already converted to LED lighting. It's about 70% more efficient than traditional lighting. So there's huge opportunities to utilize proven technologies that can substantially cut your operating costs, and they're proven and just waiting to be used. But again, the first hurdle that people have to get over is that upfront financing. So both our residential and our new commercial programs provide basically no money down options so that people can make the investment and then capture the energy savings, which is then used to pay off the loan over time. And if I could just give you a specific example, we're working with a small business owner who's been in St. Lucie County now for several decades. They have a lot of exterior lighting, and they want to do an LED light retrofit for their business. The upfront cost is about $70,000, which would stop most
people from
property
doing
owners.
it.
Yes,
Absolutely.
they would stop them in their tracks. But if they had a no money down option to get into this opportunity, the energy savings for that project is about $40,000 a year once they've installed the new technology. So in 2 years, if you do the math, they've already saved $80,000, and the upfront investment was $70,000. So it's already paid for itself through the savings within 2 years, and then through the remainder of the life of that warranted product, they're going to cut their operating costs by several $100,000. So when people say that clean energy is going to cost you more, they haven't looked at the numbers. There may be some technologies that are not applicable, but there are many others that are and make total sense. But people need access to those technologies, and they need both the expertise to identify the solutions as well as the financing to actually make the investment and move forward. And not only does it benefit the individual homeowner or business owner, but we've financed $2.4 million of home energy retrofits. Someone has to do the work. So we also pre-screen local contractors, many of which are from Port St. Lucie, make sure they have proper licenses, insurance, and a good track record, and then they actually are the ones performing the work. So we're helping basically from the bottom up create economic development activity, which happens to be in the hardest hit job sector in the state of Florida, which is the construction industry.
I do see local businesses, especially air conditioning, that have the logo.
The self logo, yes.
Self-logo, so it's really
That's right. We've seen that
exciting.
on some of the trucks out there.
We do have
so that means that that electrician or whatever their specialty is, they're familiar with the solar,
the program and the incentives,
energy and the lighting.
Correct, and we also have a partnership with the Florida Solar Energy Center, and we provide contractor training. So not only are we creating job opportunities for local businesses, we're also trying to provide training. The green sector has been identified basically as a significant future opportunity for the construction industry. I think the estimate was by 2020, 80% of all construction work would have some relationship to green energy. So to be able to help increase skills and job training so that people are able to take advantage of these opportunities, that's a big part of what we do as well.
Also at IRSC here, there's a training program to teach people the latest technologies in dealing with some of these things, the solar and other.
There is, and also the Green Collar Task Force. There's 2 different programs that are basically training the local workforce. So we do the best that we can to create the market for them to actually work. We're also looking at trying to develop new programs working with veterans. There's a Green Veterans group that works with the U.S. Green Building Council, and we're very interested in trying to have veterans returning from war, getting training, and then actually having an opportunity to work on the projects that we're financing.
That's excellent. That's great.
This sounds like a win-win situation all across the board, Mayor. You got the homeowner winning, the lenders making money, the environment's improving. Kind of good for everybody, isn't it?
Yeah, that's why I'm supporting it.
And on the financing side, I do want to point out that there's no risk that's being taken by local government. We strongly appreciate the support of local governments. What we do is typically work in partnership in ways such as this, just getting information out. But the City of Port St. Lucie's money is not being invested in this. It's actually private money that we're raising, and we're not lending it out and putting taxpayers at risk. These are also all voluntary programs. If people would like to continue to do what they're doing, there's no mandatory, mandate that they, get involved in these. But for those who are interested in taking advantage of the program, we're a local nonprofit, here to help.
And if somebody does want to know more about it, how can they find out? I'm sure you got a website?
You could either go to our website, which is solarenergyloanfund.org, or you can call our headquarters, which is 772-468-1818.
And we do have a link to your website from the city's homepage.
Correct.
Down on the left side, a button there for SELF. To help people find it easier. It sounds like an excellent plan. It's been working out. How long has it been going around now?
We have been in operation a little bit over 3 years, and again, we've done about $2.4 million of lending in the residential sector. We've just raised our first $1 million to open up the commercial program, and if there's sufficient demand for the commercial retrofit program, we've already been told that that can be increased substantially. If I could note that the new commercial program that we're bringing out doesn't just focus on energy. property owners can also do wind hazard mitigation, hardening structures against hurricanes, and they can also make improvements that that cut their water use. So it's energy efficiency, renewable energy, wind hazard mitigation, and water conservation. So we can help people cut their water and energy bills, but we can also help them cut their insurance rates by hardening that structure as well.
So there's savings to be had there as
Absolutely,
Not
yes.
to mention protecting the building from damage.
Right.
Fantastic. And in Port St. Lucie, any idea about how many residents here?
We work in about 10 different jurisdictions, and Port St. Lucie has been the #1 location. We're headquartered here in St. Lucie. We've had strong support from the city. We have probably done a good 60 or to 70% of our activity in the city of Port St. Lucie. So we've been able to help hundreds of people literally in the city, hundreds of families in the city of Port St. Lucie.
Well, Doug, you know we're the 9th largest city, population of 170 and growing, so you're going to get it here.
Well, we've been very appreciative of the support that we've received from the local government. Port St. Lucie has been a big supporter, and we're very anxious to roll out this new commercial property assessed clean energy program, which we think will be applicable to your businesses as well.
Absolutely.
Well, and we've had you on this program before to talk about it, but it sounds like you're always adding something new and looking to expand it. So it's good to bring you back once in a while and find out more.
Appreciate that. Yes, we are. We're going to be expanding the residential program into the city of Orlando this fall, and we've also opened up a new partnership with an international organization called Kiva.org, which is actually a peer-to-peer lending or crowdfunding entity. So we're actually raising money now worldwide for local clients, basically raising capital and bringing it in to invest here locally. So that's a new program we just started in the last few weeks, and we've been very pleased with the results so far.
That's interesting. We were mentioning off camera a little while ago about this crowdfunding, and it's not just for millennials who want to start up a band or an art program.
Right.
It's business out there for good, solid things like this.
Kiva.org has 1.6 million individual lenders who have financed $591 million of projects on 5 different continents. They started out working internationally. They just opened up North America, and SELF is one of the first local entities that's been approved through their program. So what we do is basically post our projects, and then the individual lenders worldwide scroll through all of the investment opportunities and decide which ones they wish to lend to. And they're typically lending about $25 each. That's it. So instead of going to a bank to raise $1 million, we're raising tens of thousands, $25 at a time through peer-to-peer lending worldwide. So it's very exciting to see us raising money in that fashion for local folks who are really in need of the capital to do the financing for the project.
Sounds like a good way for investors to kind of diversify their risk. $25 on this one, $25 on that. If you lose, you're not going to lose big on one project.
And typically people are lending, the dollars are coming back, they're going to re-lend. They may have a total of a few $100s that they just help people with their capital, and then it returns back to them and they do it again. So amazingly, that program has a 98.87% payback rate.
Wow.
So it's pretty phenomenal, not only that they've been able to do it, but it's been so highly successful so far. So we're honored to have been approved and now actively working with this international organization.
Fantastic. Mayor, isn't it interesting to see that all these different resources that are lining up and aiming at Port St. Lucie to make this a better community?
Absolutely, and we're here to help our residents. So he has it.
He's the one to do it.
Yeah.
Well, great. We appreciate you taking some time to come in today.
Appreciate it.
Good to have you here. Doug Coward. I would mention, in case anybody, our newer viewers don't know, you're a former county commissioner, so you know the area very well. And a Port St. Lucie resident.
Yes, I've been in St. Lucie County 23 years, and Port St. Lucie about 15 years.
And so you know how the town operates.
I love this town.
Bringing some great resources, and we appreciate it very much.
Well, thanks for having me.
Good to have you. Mayor JoAnn Faiella, thank you.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. We'll be back after this quick message, so stay with us.